But that leads me to our next topic here, and that would be the winners and losers of the trade deadline. Now, I'm just going to get you some quick hits. If you would like some more in-depth conversation here about this, you can check out the article I wrote on thisisbelieveland.com under the With a Jimitude menu. Just click on that. I will tweet this article out as well during the next commercial. But I had some winners and some losers of the trade deadline. Obviously, Dodgers. Come on. They got Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. What are we doing here? The Yankees getting 2 bats to their lineup. Joey Gallo, Anthony Rizzo, 2 lefties to break up the long parade of righties. Makes a ton of sense. The Mets are a winner. I have the Mets as a winner because they got Javi Baez. Getting Javi Baez while Francisco Lindor is out, huge move. He can play shortstop until Lindor comes back. Then he can move to third or second, or wherever they want to put him. Because, as Javi did say, Francisco Lindor is the only person he'll move off a shortstop for. Looking at in the American League Central, we have the Chicago White Sox as winners. They added Craig Kimbrell, Ryan Tepera to an already pretty good lineup there. You can read more about my thoughts on the White Sox, but they did pretty good. Chicago Cubs, they're a winner, even though they disassembled their entire team pretty much. Rizzo, Baez, Bryant, all gone. Kimbrell, also gone. They had to just press the reset button, press the let's start fresh, let's start new. In a couple of years, they should be relevant again, but they were going nowhere with this. The group referred to as the core. It wasn't going to happen. So moving on from those, setting things over, resetting, refreshing. That's what they needed to do. I don't know how much longer David Ross is going to stay in town because I believe he was brought in because of his relationship with those players in particular. So maybe there's a managerial change over in the north side of Chicago. Maybe they got somebody new to take over the Cubs going into next season, considering they have turned the page on that era, on that team. Now, losers, these are pretty obvious here. The Rockies, they still have John Gray and Trevor Story. The Red Sox, because after initially being linked to both Anthony Rizzo and Craig Kimbrell, they came away with neither and landed Kyle Schwarber instead, who's a glorified DH. And he's hurt. So, I don't know what you're doing there. Padres, they were so close to getting to Scherzer, they blew it, and Scherzer went to a division rival. Pretty plain and simple. And the Cardinals, also a loser. You can read more about why they're a loser on my post, which I will be tweeting out shortly. But there are some other teams that kind of fall in that middle ground category. Cleveland's definitely one of those teams that falls in that category. Just because they shed some guys they need to get rid of, but they're still in no man's land. They're still a mediocre team overall. You look at Miami, they're still in that middle ground. I'm not quite sure what they're doing. The Nationals also in that middle ground. I mean, yeah, they traded away Scherzer, they traded away Trey Turner and Kyle Schwarber, but who knows where that team's going? I mean, I couldn't tell you. Baltimore seemed like they were active in trade talks with players, no real big moves being made there on that front. Seattle, I don't know what Jerry Dipoto is doing at any moment in time. That dude seems like he just flips coins and makes his decision based off, am I going to make a trade today or no? Then he just goes down name by name on the roster and be like, is it this guy? Yes or no? Is it this guy? Is it this guy? Is it this guy? Maybe he has like a big wheel. He just kind of spins it, Wheel of Fortune style, and just be like, okay, this is the guy I'm trading today. This is the position I'm looking to acquire today in a trade. Because, you watch what Jerry Dipoto does in Seattle, it's just like, dude, what are you doing? San Francisco Giants, they did acquire Chris Bryant, but, man, they're in the same division as the Dodgers, who just got Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. So calling them as a winner, kind of hard to do, so they're in that middle ground category. Again, you can read more about winners and losers of the trade deadline on thisisbelieveland.com. I will post it again shortly. The way that everything sorts itself out, over the rest of the season. Will be interesting to watch. One quick note before we head to a commercial, before we go to our final segment, is that interestingly enough, Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, and Javi Baez all homered in their first game for their new teams. So kind of tough scene for Cubs fans to see that all those guys going to new towns homering in their first game with their new uniforms on.